Hi everyone, I just wanted to come on real quick and check in with everyone. I know it's been a little bit since I posted a video and I just did not have the energy last night to do the meditation for the Aries full moon. I really struggled with the energy yesterday. It could be because I have Aries in my North Node, so I was probably going through some kind of like an integration of some sort, but I wanted to come on today and kind of check in with everybody, see how everybody's doing. I also wanted to talk a little bit about a few things that have been coming up in my client sessions. And one of the things that has really come up a lot with my clients is been protection. So how to protect yourself as you're developing your psychic abilities, and when you go into meditation, or if you're looking to start doing any kind of channeling or spirit work, how to use protection or how to cleanse your space. So a couple of the things that I've told everybody right off the bat is it's important to keep a sacred space. Have a sacred space to do your meditations or your channelings or whatever, that the energy you know is clean, or that you can clean the energy relatively easy before you start your session. Because when you do any kind of spirit work or energy work, the energy that is contained within your environment will affect whatever kind of work you're doing. So if you're doing any kind of healing work, you really want your environment to be very clean. If you're doing any kind of meditation or work on yourself, you also want your environment to be very clean, because if you're picking up energies from your environment that are not yours, it distracts you from working on the parts of yourself that you need to be working on, because you're picking up energy that is distracting and not yours, and pulling you from what you need to actually be doing, which is working on yourself. So it's really important to cleanse. So I'm going to go over a few things that you can use to cleanse. So you can use white sage or any kind of sage. You can even use the sage brush, which is not technically sage. It's of the sage family, but it has a different scientific name, and I can't really remember it right off the top of my head. But it is a very potent medicine. You can make medicine out of it. You can also dry it and use it for cleansing, and it works. It works to clear and cleanse the energies just as the same as sage would. You can also use Palo Santo. You can use dried rosemary, dried juniper, sweetgrass. There's a few other things that you can use that are also very good for cleansing and purification. Frankincense is another form of incense that you can use to clear and cleanse and bring in good energy to your space. You can use crystals. Selenite is a big one to cleanse, clear, energize the space. Selenite is beautiful because it draws in the negative energy and transmutes it, and then pumps out positive energy in its place. So it doesn't store any of the negative energy. So you can use it to cleanse your crystals, or your tarot cards, or yourself, your body, your aura, your space. I keep selenite everywhere. I use it. I have it on my crown that I use for channeling. I use moldavite, and then I have lots of selenite, and then other stones for grounding and protection included into that. So whenever I do any kind of channeling, I have lots and lots of protection. I also wear my moldavite pendant, which is also paired with shungite, selenite, lepidolite, labradorite, a bunch of stones. So I wear protection constantly. I always have protection on my body. I also use stuff to cleanse my space, to keep a protected, sacred space. And I do this before I meditate. I light either my palo stick or a sage stick, or I turn on my humidifier with some drops of incense or lavender or rosemary, or all of it. I always use my crown whenever I do any kind of work that would involve needing that kind of protection. And that's just something that really everybody has to kind of develop on their own. These are just kind of tips, ideas, things you can use to help on your journey, to help with with protecting yourself when you're doing any kind of meditation or spirit work. So we kind of went over things you can use to cleanse, things you can use, jewelry to protect yourself. You can hold on to stones to protect yourself. You can also use psychic protection through visualization. So I'm going to go over a quick shield that you can use that is very powerful. And this is just a visualization that you do. Excuse me. And you visualize a golden translucent pyramid around your body. And then you send up a golden or silver thread from the top of your head, and you push it all the way through the top of the pyramid, and you connect with source or whatever form you feel is comfortable for you. I connect with source, and then I bring down source light from the cord. I bring it all the way down, and I fill the pyramid with light, and I surround myself with love, light, and protection. And then when I have that pyramid filled with light, I build a pyramid upside down, pointing down, and then I connect a cord from the base of my spine, and I send it all the way down through the tip of the pyramid, and I send it all the way down to Gaia. I wrap around Gaia's crystal heart, and then I breathe up that Mother Earth energy up through the cord. I bring it all the way up through my chakras, all the way up, and I send it all the way back up, and I create a pillar of light between me, Source, and Mother Earth. And then from there, I do whatever kind of channeling, light language, healing, or whatever modality and form of work that I'm doing after that. And that's a really powerful shield that anybody can use. It's a quick visualization, and once you get used to how to do it, you can do it in an instant. You don't have to go step by step. You can just visualize the whole set right off the bat. Like in the beginning, I recommend going through it set by set and letting everything fill up. But once you've really become super comfortable with the shield and you're confident in it, you can literally set it in an instant, like with your mind. You know it's there, you set it, you forget it, you go on with your work. So that's a shield you can use for protection through visualization, and this I recommend trying. Everybody go ahead and try this, if you feel guided, and see how it works for you. See if you feel comfortable with it. You can use crystals, moldavite, selenite, labradorite is great for protection and for transformation. So if you really want to transform into like a higher form of consciousness, you want to kind of kick out all the lower density within you, labradorite's great for that. The black labradorite, which is also known as larvicite, adds in kind of that extra boost of psychic protection, along with really kind of bringing in a lot of that transformational energy. Black tourmaline is one of my personal favorites for psychic protection. I use it in everything, and I mix the tourmaline with selenite almost always whenever I do anything, or some kind of either selenite or fluorite, or something that will help kind of cleanse the stone continuously, because it will draw in and absorb all of the negativity from your environment. So if you do have the tourmaline, it's important that you're always cleansing it. But it is super great to have on, and it really works to keep a very safe environment. It's very protective, very powerful. So what are some other things? I have to kind of like go through my checklist in my mind. Some people feel really comfortable with doing like subliminal neurolinguistic programming, which I do personally, and I have gotten really great results from it. So I recommend it if it's something that you feel comfortable with. I recommend being careful, very careful with who you work with when you're doing any kind of subconscious or subliminal reprogramming, any kind of work with that. Make sure you're working with somebody who knows what they are doing and understands linguistics and how they affect the mind. And that's one thing that I'm just going to say, like, it works really great. I highly recommend subliminal affirmations, subconscious reprogramming, when you're using a safe and trusted conduit for that. But it works, and it's very powerful. You can also use sound alchemy, and then energy alchemy. So there are Reiki healers that are understanding of how to use Reiki frequencies to clear and cleanse the environment and the body. And then also quantum alchemists like myself who can use those frequencies to cleanse and clear the body and the environment. You can also use sound frequencies, so electromagnetic fields and certain frequencies and sounds that will clear and clean your environment from any kind of negative energies or frequencies, because of that specific frequency is sound, everything is made up of sound. So you can change your environment just by changing the frequency of the sound that's in the environment. So if you want a positive environment, pump a positive frequency into that environment, and the environment will change based on whatever frequency is being pumped into the environment. So if you're dealing with an environment that has a lot of negative sound frequencies that are coming through, say you live in a city or something that has a lot of the EMF frequencies that are not good, that are harmful, you can actually neutralize or counteract those frequencies using certain electromagnetic fields that counterbalance the frequencies, and then certain frequencies, and you really have to do your own research on this. I have done a lot of research myself, and I have specific ones that I like to do and use, and I really don't want to speak about it publicly because everybody has their own perception. So I'm going to let you kind of do that on your own. If you want to email me privately and we can discuss it a little bit more privately, that is also an option as well. And my email will be posted below. It's always available for you guys if you need to reach out or you have questions about things. Everything I talk about is based on my perception, based on my experience, and it does evolve over time. So sometimes I will say something because that is my perception at that time, and then I will evolve past that perception and maybe not be in a full agreement of what I said before. So always keep that in mind. And I am always open to hear the expression of others, their opinion or their perception, because I feel that it is important always to be open to others' perception. Because if you are not open to another person's perception, you are keeping yourself in a limited space. The more open you are to the perceptions that are of those around you, the more you expand your own perception, therefore creating a higher range of things to look at, to kind of base anything off from, instead of this closed little inbox perception of what you created is your truth. And it is also important to always have discernment and know what your truth is and be able to be like, well, you know, I understand this is their perception, it's not my truth, and I'm just going to leave it at that. Don't judge them for their perception, because everybody sees and experiences things differently. And sometimes we have to evolve to a certain form of consciousness to fully come to that resonance as well. Like with myself, everything I say, it's my knowing now. Oop, I apologize for my cat. It's my knowing now, but in the future, I may have a different knowing or a different understanding or a different clarity. So always be open to, I apologize, always be open to other people's perceptions, but always stand in your own knowing as well. That's always very important. But never judge somebody based on their perception as well. And that's how you really expand beyond any kind of limitation. So before my cat jumps back in again, I'm just gonna leave it at that and send you all love and blessings. And please let me know in the comments if there's anything else you want me to go over, any questions you have having to do with psychic protection, and I can definitely do another video on that. Love and blessings.